Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for inviting me to this event. And this when we talk about unlocking the future of HR, so this is something very close to my heart. I'm not a HR professional, but I have been on the other side of the table. And I was in industry for about 30 years, in technology industry. And let me tell you, in any organization, the HR folks, they are the least trusted one. They are the most friendly ones, but they are the least trusted one. In organization corridor gossip, that don't trust him or her. He is from HR. Okay, so that was the kind of role, and we have seen that you collect these applications and you do the onboarding and you do the training, learning and development, and then this payroll administration and a whole lot of other support functions you have been doing. And you are also taking care of this offboarding, like or when they are leaving, parting the organization, so how to make it better. Then also employee engagement, so on and so forth. So that is how it has been. But the role is quickly changing. The HR role, the way HR function is changing today, keeping in mind the future of work, is never like that. So this is the best moment for HR professional. So you have too many balls, you are juggling all these balls in the air because of this future of work is changing. And no other department is looking at it that way. You have to play the role of integrating all these dimensions. So marketing, productions, they are not thinking about those aspects. You need to guide, you need to look at that. So before I come to this, so let me take you through this, my concept of the Society 5.0 and the role of HR. And the theme at BIM Trichy is influencing tomorrow. When we say influencing tomorrow, whether it is marketing or whether it is HR, that how we can contribute a little bit. So towards that, we are working seriously, and we are looking at how the future of work is shaping up. We see that the starting point for this was rethinking the MBA, the Dean of Harvard Business School, Srikant Datar. So he came up with different attributes of rethinking the MBA. And these are some of the aspects. This PPT would be there with the organizers, so you can take a look. I'll leave the PPT behind. But quickly take you through that, keeping in mind the future of work. This is the global perspectives, leadership development, integration, organizational realities like power, politics, and challenges of implementation, creative, innovative thinking, oral and written communication, the roles, responsibilities, and purpose of business, risk, regulation, and restraints, understanding the limits of markets and models. So these were suggested to be part of MBA curriculum. No longer those vanilla MBA and then you put some marketing, HR specialization. No. So these are some critical aspects to be built into the curriculum. Next is that World Economic Forum. So World Economic Forum, their future of job reports, so they keep on coming, their future of job reports. I'm sure most of you have gone through that. What they say that unlike our parents or grandparents, so we'll be changing job 5 to 6 times. Okay. So keeping that in mind, so few areas they have identified like complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation skill, and cognitive flexibility. These are the attributes that the World Economic Forum is talking about. Now, what does McKinsey say? McKinsey again talks about this COVID-19 and how COVID-19 accelerated digital transformation in the organization. So it says that remote work and virtual meetings are likely to continue, albeit less intensely than at the pandemic's peak, but knock-on effects for real estate, business travel, and urban centers. E-commerce and other virtual transactions are booming, increasing demand for gig work. COVID-19 may propel faster adoption of automation and AI, especially in work arenas with high physical proximity. And this too, the written in red ink is very important. Just note, the mix of occupations within economies may shift with little or no job growth in low-wage occupations. Workers will need to learn more social and emotional skills and technical skills to move into occupations in higher wage brackets. So if you have employees in the low wage bracket, so how to move them into the higher wage brackets? And this mix of the occupation within the economy that is changing fast. What does Deloitte say? So these are some of the research that we are doing, and we are coming up with the modules so that we can support many of the organizations, because consulting, I come with the consulting background and having spent more than 3 decades in industry. So apart from academics, research, so consulting is one key element in our institute. So Deloitte Insight, it says that remaining human in a technology-driven world. So as your machines are getting artificial intelligence, as the physical objects, they are, as you are including machine learning into the physical objects, and they are becoming more and more intelligent. So what happens to us? We can't remember any phone numbers. So are we becoming, what happens to the human being? Are we losing intelligence? Yes, if we are losing intelligence, can we be little more human? So this remaining human in a technology-driven world, then belonging from comfort to connection to contribution, designing work for well-being, living and performing at your best, super teams, putting AI in the group, knowledge management, creating context for a connected world, beyond reskilling. So it is just not reskilling. How to invest in resilience for uncertain futures. How to build this resilience for uncertain future, not only for the organization, but for the employees as well. And HR has to play a very, very important role in all these aspects. Then ethics and the future of work, from could we to how should we. Not just the destination, not just achieving the number, but how we achieve that path, that becomes very important. Towards a social enterprise. So enterprises are essentially becoming a social enterprise. So enterprise that just the enterprise where not just the machines are intelligent, enterprise where the human beings are more human, and HR plays the catalytic role in bringing their intrinsic qualities so that man and machine can work to create the maximum value. So this is the architecture for a social enterprise. So that means purpose. Any organization has a purpose that you see in their this objective, their mission, vision, and most of the places, mission, vision, they are just on the board. We don't internalize. You do a survey, quick survey in your organization, ask the employees, so how many you remember, you can write their mission and vision statement correctly. Now tell me how you are contributing to the mission and vision statements. So you will find that we are seriously failing in that. But how to this individually, how each individual can be made aware of contributing to the mission and vision of the organization, the purpose. What is the purpose of my being here? Okay, like the Gurujis, ancient Gurujis, they say that know yourself. What is your purpose? Why are you alive? Why are you born? So similarly, in any organization, this is what the HR has to play a major role. Each individual should feel that this is the mission and vision of the organization, and this is how I'm contributing to the mission and vision in my own way. Next is potential. So when you have this purpose, it focuses on individuality. A cannot be just like B. You cannot say he has achieved 100%, why are you working at 80% of the maybe this sales target? But HR has to see that how I can use that potential to enable them to perform better. So that individually, purpose and the sense of belonging, that is there in that first part. Second part is the potential, reinvention. How do I help my employees to reinvent themselves? Okay, so that means an organization that is designed and organized to maximize what humans are capable of thinking, creating, and doing in a world of machines. Okay, so this is what we have to think. In any organization, what happens that we basically work in silos. Take the case of, say, some IT company. Here you have a healthcare unit, here then you have banking finance, then you have a manufacturing unit, then you have the government sector, then you have the horizontal unit like ERP, analytics and all that. Now in each unit, the best performers are kept close to the heart by the unit heads. You cannot move them to anywhere else. Okay? They are not released. So you can draw parallel to your organizations. But you find that there is a person in healthcare business unit who is extremely good in numbers, can do wonders in analytics. So why should he contribute only in healthcare? Why not I move this person to analytics business unit so that it's a horizontal unit and that advantage can be leveraged by all other banking, finance and all other units. It's very, very difficult to do that. But HR has to play an important role. How to keep your eyes and ears open to see what is happening with respect to the skill of the person, of the candidate, and use the analytics and different AI applications that are available, the social media, the corridor, these murmurs that you get to hear, and see that how you can enable this potential, each person's potential, how we can maximize the potential and create maximum value. So this is where comes the reinvention. I come as I joined, I started my career with CMC Limited, now it's TCS. And my initial work was building solution for the steel plants, aluminum plants. I have been to all the plants in the Eastern Zone. And I was recruited, I was again picked up by my chairman at that point of time. And he made me his executive assistant, and I came over to Delhi. So my office was in Maharani Bagh, so I stayed there for about 9 years. I closely worked with Aishar Consulting because they were doing the transformation in CMC Limited at that point of time. And from a solution developer, I demonstrated my potential as a corporate strategy maker. Okay, so this is what the HR has to enable, that how to find the right potential of a person. Some person joining as a salesperson may be a very good HR person, or a HR person could be a marketing person. So you need to see that how I can maximize the potential. Next is the perspectives. Now today's world is very, very uncertain as the stock market, and you don't know. And even for the academics, we don't know what tools, what technology we must teach our students to keep them relevant, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 10 years down the line. So they need to be ready for the uncertainty. Okay, how to instill that resilience in the employees. So that's a very, very important part that you need to look at. So I don't want to talk about it, so this will be mere repetition, but when I talk about Society 5.0, that is a concept taken from Japan, and with the digital transformation, what happened? Digital transformation is taking shape in different avatars. When it comes to Europe, they call it Industry 4.0. These are nothing but using this IoT, artificial intelligence, robotics, big data, and blockchain. I don't want to talk about it, you all know. So Europe, that is Industry 4.0. In China, they are calling it Made in China 2025. Asian, and in India also we talk about smart city. In India also, of course, we are talking about Make in India. In North America, it is industrial internet. Everything is getting interconnected. Even the vehicle you drive, they have a connected car. And that is what started in US. Ford Motors and Ford Sing and GM, they have this OnStar program. And then it is followed by all other vehicle manufacturers, but they are massively into Internet of Things, and they talk about industrial internet. They are very, they take fancy in that. They will be in Delhi, and from there they turn on their car, maybe in the West Coast. So that is what they take a lot of pride in. And in Japan, what happened? They are talking about Society 5.0. That means it's not enough that we follow this Industry 4.0 and we bring all the AI, ML and everything, but how can we be more responsive to sustainability, to the SDG, and move towards this net zero. Okay, so that is very, very important. In Japan, they have a very crazy situation. Their average age is going up, and they have more number of aging population. And in Japan, they developed very fast. So whatever they built till about 1970 or so, they are now wearing away. So they need huge investment again to create the updates for all this development work that they did. Now in doing this, what happens? You need to balance between the development and the sustainability, what we call it triple bottom line. So taking care of the nature, taking care of the environment, making human being more human. So as machines are getting more intelligent, how can we make human being more human? So that is what they are working on, and that is the concept captured under Society 5.0. This Society 5.0 we made an integral part of our curriculum today. Okay, so basically I just touched upon what Society 5.0, it is Industry 4.0, plus you bring the human aspects and what even Deloitte talks about the social enterprise. So you need to bring all these elements together to realize this Society 5.0. So this is how it has been moving on. Like we used to be a part of this hunting society. Then from there it moved into agrarian society, then industrial society, information society, the society that we just are transitioning from information society to Society 5.0, super smart society. So we are calling ourselves smart, we are getting into our smartphone and smart vehicle, smart refrigerator, even AC also smart. The other day I had to replace the AC in my house, but my son insisted that he should be able to operate AC through Alexa. So those kind of, even to turn on the AC also they want to rely on Alexa. So that is how, as the environment around us, the physical environment is getting more and more smart, what are we becoming? Are we becoming more human? So that is the question we have to ask, and with that HR must go back to your organization and see, are your employees becoming more human? So this is again about the SDG. So now we are making the transition 2050 plus social and economic sustainability within a stable earth system. And gradually, all the organizations, whenever you are applying for bank loan, whenever you are going for these investors, gradually they will insist on your ESG certification. So for some of the organizations that is being mandated, but still it is not being followed. And at BIM, I and few faculty with me, we are working on this ESG as a part of the governance mechanism. Many of the institutes, they offer ESG as a part of the course, or what they call it sustainable finance. Like in the bank you submit your balance sheet, your P&L account, okay? So similarly, there will be a time when you have to submit your ESG statement, your ESG account, how much you are doing in terms of sustainability. So how do I make, and this sustainability, this cannot be enabled by using just AI/ML. So they are just enabler. So this has to be enabled by changing our own behavior, changing our own consumption pattern, the way we look at the environment, the way we look at the consumption. And the green shoot is that the Gen Z, primarily the audience that you'll be working with, they are very, very sensitive towards sustainability, towards SDG, towards ESG, and that won't be difficult. So this is what we need to nurture and unlocking the future of HR. So SDG, ESG will come in a big way. Now you are not feeling it, but very soon this will be the thing that you need to seriously look at. So this is the sustainability transition that HR has to look at. So this Society 5.0, when we are moving towards that, so we address it through our curriculum at BIM. I'm not selling BIM, but I'm just illustrating from the academic point of view how we are addressing. So on top of it, core and elective courses, like all your finance, marketing, HR and all that will be there. On the left side, you have new age applications in core and elective courses. That is there, all the centers of excellence and all the technology related courses that we are offering. But what is important is on the right side. On the right side, you have the universal human values. So how do we impact self? How do we impact family? How do we connect ourselves with society? How do we connect ourselves with environment? So this universal human value has become a part of the curriculum. Okay. Then the other part is the practice course. Like enhancing personality. Can I enforce? Everybody has to participate in sports. Instilling team spirit, values, ethics, fostering sustainable living. So these are the aspects that we have built into our curriculum. What is the outcome? Outcome we'll get to know maybe after 3 years, 4 years, because when the academic cycle is on, so there is no point measuring the outcome. While on the left side, for the usual courses, you can measure the outcome by seeing that how they are performing, the kind of job they are getting, but how good they are, how do you measure? But one good thing I have seen that the BIM graduates, they are highly regarded by the recruiters due to their long retention. So I have always seen that people with a good value system and the retention period, they are somewhat directly proportional. Okay, they do not change job that fast. Okay, they have more loyalty, they have more stickiness. I do not have enough data, so we are, it's just a dipstick study that we have done, but I need to see if there are existing literature on that, but that is how we have seen it. So this is how the academics and many of the educational institutes, they are responding to this future of work, to this Society 5.0. So far what I have done, I have talked about the McKinsey, I have talked about Srikant Datar, the Dean of Harvard Business School, I have talked about Deloitte, okay, that World Economic Forum, that how do they see future of work, how the organization is shaping going forward. So that is what I have shared. I have also shared so far the concept of Society 5.0, what it requires, okay. Having done that, I have shared with you the academics, how the academics are looking at it. Now the question is, how should smart HR should look at it? So that question, I'm not an expert in HR, you need to find the answer, but I'm throwing some issues to you so you can factor that. So that is not there in that slide, so I just jotting down over my breakfast table. So one is that right learning and development, okay. So it's not a like a cookie cutter approach and like a spreadsheet modeling or finance for non-finance or leadership skill or negotiation skill and send some 30 executives to attend that course in a nice place and you check the box that I have completed so many hours of training. No, not at all. So learning and development budget, you have to carefully allocate and you have to personalize that and see that that is most appropriately being done. Okay, not the same L&D for everyone. So learning and development is going to play a major role. Okay, competency mapping, what is needed for the job role. So it's not just the manager is recommending and HR is arranging for the learning and development. So customized learning and development is very important. You have to also ensure that the leaders in the organizations, they are all connected. Unfortunately, what happened, most of the leaders, they are not connected well. They have a competition. They all want to hold on to their best talent. Okay, so HR has to play a role so that you can extract maximum value out of all your employees. Then human connections. Today it is the hybrid working model and hybrid or work from home work model. So there, this human connection is very important. As we engaged, as especially more so digital transformation and COVID-19 that actually advanced that digital transformation. With that, we have seen work from home. Okay, we have seen the flexible working hours. So that has given rise to a lot of flexibility and autonomy to individuals. So all your employees, they have a lot of flexibility, they have a lot of autonomy. Okay, they feel happy about it. But what happens, that has badly invaded into their personal space. They don't get time to unwind. You expect your employees will always be connected on mobile. Okay, so that is creating a serious problem, serious health problem, serious mental problem for the employees. And this, so that is where you need to look at this occupational psychology kind of therapy. You need to look out for the employee fatigue. So that is where the text mining, listening to the conversation the employees are making on the social network, and maybe you can promote that your official social platform official social platform, for internal platform for employees to exchange their views, so that they don't get into unproductive their own WhatsApp group, where it will be like bashing the boss or criticizing the organizations. So how to create that? There are many interventions. So things like you can have Facebook at workplace. So these are some of the interventions you can always look at and see the conversations there, and you can predict the churn predictability. Okay, whether the employee is likely to leave, whether the employee is getting very fatigued. So you can understand what is happening, what is going in their mind. Okay, so then apart from that, of course, this with this flexibility and autonomy, you have question of data security and all these aspects, invasion of privacy. So you need to kind of seriously look at it. So enterprise social platform you can think of. So many organizations are coming up. There are many social platforms. We all talk about ERP implementation, but you have to think of how to implement an enterprise social platform. Not only just talking about what your organization doing, but employees to share their thoughts among yourselves. So then you also get to know what is happening in other groups. Otherwise, in most of the organizations, there are silos. Okay, so one department is not talking to another department. Even academic institute also. You go to IIT, go to IIMs, and there are boundaries and there are mutual suspicion. They don't talk. So future of work, future of HR, smart HR. When you talk about it, is just not HR analytics. It is just not using blockchain, AI/ML, okay, or IoT. It is to do a deep dive into human mind, more so because it is the Gen Z. The Gen Z psychology is peculiar, so you need to look at it. Now, I will end my talk by talking about a concept called techno-stress. Techno-stress, this concept was there. It was coined in 1980s, and it was just a kind of a research topic. It ended there. But today, in this hybrid work environment, as we talk about Industry 4.0, as we talk about using more and more technology at workplace, so this techno-stress, this aspect has spread. This aspect is being talked about quite widely, and you need to take note of that. Techno-stress, there are 5 components of that. One is the techno-overload. In techno-overload, what happens? We expect the employees to work faster. Techno-overload. So you have all the technology with you, so why can't you work faster? So that is creating a lot of stress. Then techno-invasion. So technology is invading the personal life. Okay, so that is very, very important. Like say, for simple example, like say Zoom call. Zoom call, many times the boss may ask you, turn on your camera. But there will be women employees and they are working from home. They may not be in the right attitude to turn on the camera. Boss gets upset. Are you really at your workplace? Or you are taking the call from somewhere else? I don't know. I don't want to. You are supposed 10 to 5. You are supposed to be an official work. So you better turn on the camera. I have seen a lady employee resigning the job because her husband was by her side. Her husband said, when your boss is talking this way, you are not comfortable, you are being asked to turn on the camera, then this is not the organization you should be in. I don't want to name the organization. I is also part of it. Okay. So these are sensitivity. So techno-invasion is one aspect. So that's why there should be regulations that when it comes to lady employees, okay, so it is optional for them to turn on the video or not. So I always follow that. So can we make it a part of the service rule? I'm sure no service rule carries it because it is a recent phenomena, but let us build that. Then techno-complexity, filling up incompetence, techno-complexity. So I'm used to say maybe Google Meet, Zoom Meet and all that, but suddenly you say that will be in Teams Meet. I have to install Microsoft Teams. So maybe I will start feeling little, awkward that I don't have Microsoft, installed or Microsoft Teams installed. Then techno-insecurity due to rapid change of IT. Techno-insecurity, rapid change of IT. And for a very long time, I was hesitant in depositing cash in the bank through the automatic cash deposit machine. Even being a digital person myself, I was not very sure whether will they count well, what happened if my notes get sucked in and then I don't get any receipt. So a lot of insecurities there. You have to keep in mind the technology readiness aspects. And that other one is the techno uncertainty due to unpredictable change in technology. Like this, what is the impact of metaverse in, say, in HR practice? Okay, so these are some of the aspects that you have to keep in mind. And what are the outcome of techno stress? How do you know that techno stress is going up in the organization? That you see through anxiety, that you see through fatigue, skepticism, and inefficiency in using ICT. Okay, information and communication technology, they are not able to use that. There will be a lot of skepticism, inefficiency, anxiety, and fatigue. So ladies and gentlemen, so this HR profession was never as exciting as it is today. While all other professions are working in silos, so HR profession alone can establish a bridge among them. And while HR is to be criticized as the most political group, HR would be the group that is facilitating extracting maximum potential out of the human resource. Okay, so let us move towards Society 5.0 as our machines automatically get intelligent, because there is no dearth of those IT people and those technology platform sellers. They will come and sell that to your organization where you may not have any control. The CEO will buy those gadgets. But what you can do, you can work towards making human more human. And how to make it, you know it better. Okay, thank you so much. All the best.